The countdown. Joining on the sofa with Esther Sunday, the 8th of December, is Maneera Sallies, director of Old Righteous Blues, a compelling South African film produced by Dumisani Vukile Gumbi, under consideration for an Oscar nomination in the foreign film category. Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are across the globe. Welcome to another On the Sofa with Esther. Today, it's an absolute privilege to be speaking to Maneera Sallies. She's in South Africa. I know I did that pretty badly, but I couldn't. I just wanted to do that, and we are an incredible conversation about her film, which is up for Oscar consideration, Old Righteous Blues. So welcome, Maneera.
Oh, thank you so much for having me and for that warm welcome. It's such a
All the
pleasure to
paraphernalia, all the sort of intros and outros. I've sort of recently moved over to this platform, and I'm just loving how I can really create a beautiful show and experience and look around things. So
from the
yes, thank you and
different
welcome.
parts of the world.
Thank you. Right, before we go any further, though, I want to give you the welcome that you truly deserve, because this is a real honor to be talking to you. So, who is Maneera Sallies? She's a visionary South African filmmaker, celebrated for her ability to tell compelling stories rooted in cultural identity, resilience, and redemption. As the director of the poignant film Old Righteous Blues, Sally showcases her talent for blending authentic narratives with universal themes, reflecting South Africa's vibrant cultural tapestry. Her work has garnered attention for its emotional depth, visual storytelling, and commitment to fostering dialogue around social and historical issues. Despite challenges such as limited budgets and logistical hurdles, Sally's dedication to her craft and her collaborative spirit have made her a respected figure in the global film community. So there we go.
Whew. Well, that was an introduction. Thank you. We
So
try. We try.
we're trying. Now we haven't finished yet, because what I'm going to ask you now, Maneera, and I always ask my guests, is who is Maneera Sallies in a nutshell, in a peanut shell, or a coconut shell?
Oh, who is Maneera Sallies? Maneera is born and raised in Boekap, Cape Town, South Africa. My mother was Zulfata Sallies, who was also a filmmaker. My dad, Shahid Sallies, was a cameraman. So I very much grew up in the arts. I grew up in theater. Our home was always filled with the community in and out of our house,
Right.
learning from my mom. So it was really that spirit that touched me, seeing that creativity and that collaboration, which I think affected me so much as a child without me even realizing. And the older I got, I always knew exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew what I was going to do. So in a
Excellent.
nutshell, that is me. I'm rooted in culture. I'm rooted in faith. I'm rooted in family and community and storytelling, which is such a big part of it all.
And that's a nice place to lead off from, Manila, because your film Old Righteous Blues has is up for Oscar consideration. So congratulations for that.
Thank
And
you. Thank
just hearing where you've come from, as a child growing up in that sort of environment, and also knowing what this film is about and all your other body of work, it really suggests that those formative years were really pivotal because there's
100%.
so much about community in this, isn't there?
100%. And I mean, it's such a privilege to be able to tell stories. First of all, not everyone has that opportunity to be able to tell stories, first of all, in your own languages, about your own communities. Often we have outsiders coming in telling your stories, and it's so important for us to
Uh-huh.
reclaim that and tell our own stories the way we want to tell it, through our own lenses. And that is always at the heart of everything. The intention behind it all is, how can we really bring our own stories to the global market? And I mean, we have, South Africa is rich. It's so rich
Yeah.
with our own stories and talented, hardworking people. So I mean, it's about time, we're just claiming our space in the rest of the world.
Oh, you're so passionate. I'm just feeling that energy that let's go for it. And you have
Yeah.
gone for it, you have, this, challenges and, oftentimes finances can be a constraint, but then passion burns through that and around that. Wouldn't you say, Maneera?
100%. I mean, your passion is always like, it's that driving force behind everything you do and everything you choose to do. But I mean, filmmaking, it does come with, I mean, half of filmmaking is problem solving. And
Mm.
often that biggest problem is budgets. You don't have the budgets that you often want. And first of all, South African, the rand compared to the dollar, we can't compete,
Mm.
we can't compete to the big blockbusters, but we can compete in quality, in the stories that we have to tell, and the people behind them. So I mean, and it makes us resilient. We can do so much with very little. So give us the big budgets and we'll show you what we can do. We
Excellent.
resilient people. We just make it work.
Excellent. Excellent. So following on from this now, you made it work. Old Russia's Blues, like we said, is up for Oscar consideration. Just tell us a little bit about what Old Writers Blues is about, and then we can start to unpeel from there. And I love it when you talked about we can tell our own stories, our own
Yeah.
narrative, and I believe you've done that through Old Writers Blues, but also in terms of diversity and inclusivity, you've used the community. So over to you, Maneera.
So I'll start off with the community. First of all, when I believe 100%, when you're shooting or doing anything in a community, you have to involve that community. You cannot come in as an outsider, do your thing, and leave. It's how do you leave a space better than when you arrived into a space. So we very much incorporated the community. The bands were actual bands that was from the Robertson area and surrounding areas. We utilized some of the community on crew and in certain roles in the film. I mean, we had so many kids running around, and by the end of it, they were 1, 2, 3, action. They were just so involved, and they were around the monitor, and they were there. And that's the spirit of community filmmaking. It's inspiring without even realizing that you are inspiring. You don't know who's the person next to you is like, oh my gosh, I can do this too. This is a space I can be welcomed in, because for a long time communities
Yeah.
don't feel welcome in spaces like this. I mean, Robertson is a community that the Boerdorp is a community where people have never seen what it is like to film or be on a film set. So it was really, really amazing in that regard. And I mean, the film itself is really about a young man who needs to face up to his past and his own limitations in order to unite his fractured community and lead his Christmas choir band to former glory. But even beyond that, it's about family, it's about community, it's about brotherhood at the heart of it all. So it very much universal themes, and the writer Carol Shaw did an amazing job with bringing all of these important elements to the script. I mean, when I picked it up, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a story we absolutely have to tell. I packed my bags and I went to Robertson to see what it's all about. Let's immerse ourselves in this community. So I was very fortunate enough to be involved in this project, and for Carol to trust me with the story that she worked on tirelessly for many, many years. Yeah.
And even for where it was filmed in Robertson, there's something about the area that really helped to bring the film to life as well. Can you share that?
Yes, I mean, Robertson is a really, really beautiful area. I mean, it's landscapes, it's lush, it's got mountains, it's got, the rivers that flow through it. It's really, really an old community. It's a soulful community. But we have to also realize there is Robertson and then there is the Boerdorp. And the Boerdorp is where we shot, which is sort of the community on top of the hill where most people don't really know about this community. It's a sort of like a forgotten community on the top of Robertson, and yet Robertson itself is such a touristic place. People come in and out, but if you just look up on the hill, and you'll see this beautiful Boerdorp community of people that are so soulful and so helpful and so wonderful. Yeah,
Brilliant. So I guess.
Home. Sorry.
No, that's okay. There's a little bit of a lag, so that's fine. And I guess then that what you've done, not just the film, the community, but you've given recognition to, you've shone a torch or a light on to something. So there's so many different factors that being part of this film has brought about it. And from what you've said, it's probably inspired so many people. It's given them another line, a trail of thought that I could. This is something that I can do. This is something that I can be part of. But also, just by being part of it, is that recognition that a lot of the community have been searching for years. Muneera, back to you.
I mean, that is the hope. I mean, that is really, really the hope. Where, I mean, as a storyteller, you often hope to shine a light on something that most people are not aware of or they've never seen, whether it's a culture, whether it is, a specific person, whatever the case. And in this case, when you really define community, what is community? It has so many subcategories. It could be a place, it could be a group of people, it could be a culture, it could be different things. And I think what makes Old Righteous Blues so unique is that it touches on all of those things. It's a specific community, a specific culture, also a specific religion that is practiced in the film, a specific language, and the bands itself is a community, so it touches on so many different aspects of what community is, while still holding on to those universal themes where anyone in the world can watch it and relate to a specific thing or a character or the journey that our characters go through, because it's so much rooted in family dynamics and what a community goes through with family dynamics. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to play the trailer so that everybody can get a broader picture of what we're discussing here. So just to remind you that you're listening to On the Sofa with Esther, and my guest from South Africa is Muneera Sallies, and she's talking about the film, The Old Righteous Blues, which is up for Oscar 2025 consideration.
Paano Zakos? Ay, tiri, Astro mo mayor.
Huwag itong imanak si Fancy eh. Dat is een groot geheim eh.
Weet iemand anders hiervan?
Ja, ons moet hom na ons kant toe kry.
Sisi? Wag moet dit ek drom om my hoor. Die meisies gaan nie daar plat hardloop om my te kom.
Miskien nie.
Oom Zakos wil uittreë.
Dit lyk nie 'n dag het gaan kom, bro. En hulle eerste optrede, die New Righteous Blues, ook van Robertson af.
Wat maak hulle hier?
Het ons hom nie gesê nie. As ons hom weer by 'n kompetisieveld sien, sal sy geheim nie veilig wees by ons nie.
Ons gaan met hulle almal afreken. Jou beurt.
Afdeling Lamont.
Kolemond.
Afdeling! Voorwaarts, mars, links, rechts, links.
Jy moet vir jou broer sê, asseblief Alvin.
Word wakker, Handjie. Jy lewe in 'n droomwêreld, bro. Jy sal nooit die titelmajoor word nie en die ooms gaan altyd oor jou sien. Hulle klaar jou toekoms vir jou gewys.
Nou wat van my, Alvin? Jy dink net aan jouself. Jy's net pa.
Almal bang vir die ooms.
Maantjie. Nes jy?
Appeleer jy nog steeds?
Nee.
Julle mans, julle speel met mense lewens.
Let's face it, julle. Die ander koor is goed.
Hulle gaan nie van my kry nie. En daai sê ek nou vir julle.
Jy sal 'n brief van ons kry met die datum van 'n dissiplinêr.
Ek sal hulle nooit vergeet wat hulle aan jou gedoen het. Nooit.
Jy is die as opvoeder. En jy gaan nie ontslaa raak van ons nie. Nee.
Maar al wat vir jou saak maak, is trommelmajoor in jou koor.
Geloof my een ding. Luister altyd na jou hart.
Wow. Wow. You know what was going through my mind? I was watching that is there were a couple of questions in terms of the actors, those who took, you know, did a lot of them not have acted or not had any training? Because, you know, I'm just sensing when you talk about community and people have that passion to be part of something, they find themselves in that place, don't they?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
was it that, in terms of the crew and the cast?
I mean, our cast was really, it's a big cast. I mean, you're dealing with the bands and then the leading cast, which is also a huge cast, you know, the families. I mean, the fortunate and great thing about the film is that we dealt with up and coming actors who were really haven't had a lot of film experience. And then we also had sort of the ooms, which is the uncles and the aunts who have been in the industry for many years, you know. So it was like those sort of juxtapositions of the old and the new, and learning from each other, which was so great, and finding that balance. And it's, you know, I mean, filmmaking is a give and take, you know. And our crew, I mean, it's, I have to say this, it is such a great thing when you can step on a film set and 98% of that film set is people of color. From the crew to the cast, it's people of color. And that is something, it shouldn't be a unique thing, yet it is a unique thing. You know, it should be a norm where the majority of sets you walk onto where it's run by people of color. And this was such a great thing for the community and for the cast and the crew. I mean, I have to take my hat off. We had an amazing crew that we worked with and such a great, talented, hardworking cast. You know, it is absolutely... Yeah, I'll get emotional when I speak about it because everyone just gave their heart and soul to the film during that period. And I mean, it's not also easy. We had to bring in everyone. I mean, Katarina Weinek and Dumisani Gumbi, our great producers, we had to very much bring all our cast into this community and stay there for weeks, you know, and we formed a family bond, which made it so much easier to get through the hard times on set when things didn't go according to the plan. And it often doesn't go according to the plan, you know. So it's hard to keep your cool and just deal with what comes your way and still keep the quality and the performances at the place it needs to be.
Excellent,
and they deliver.
And so what was the time frame between when you started to then getting it to the States? You know, how did you get yourselves into that place?
It was such a journey. Let me tell you, everything from the get-go, from the inception, from the script writing to when we were supposed to shoot was a stop, go. I mean, we were meant to shoot and then we didn't. And then COVID hit and then we couldn't. I mean, there's no way we could shoot with that amount of people. And, you know, I mean, this pandemic is upon us. So everything was pushed. And eventually, you know, we were like, there's no time like now. We need to do this. It was 2022 and we shot the film, you know. So I mean, from there it was the whole process of, we shot, I think it was about 5 weeks we were on set, we shot, and then we went into post-production. And then, I mean, it took the post-production process was quite a long process. And then, you know, hitting festivals, and it did quite well at the festivals, both the local festivals and the international festivals. And I think that is what also gave so much traction to the film, you know. I mean, it's always such a great thing when people really connect to your film, because you don't know how people are going to respond. You put your heart and soul into something, you put it out there, and you just hope people journey with it in some way and feel for your characters and really connect. And we were very fortunate that was the case with our film, you know. And we're not done yet. You know, Oscars is just it's a step, but there's the rest of the world still needs to see it. We want to hit the European markets. We want to hit so many markets, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, and I get and because of your energy and the passion around it and the passion that was infused, you know, it's almost like this I can't remember if you used to watch some of the sci-fi movies where you've got this central hub and it's siphoning, it draws everybody in, a bit like the spaceship, coming to the spaceship. And so that passion, that enthusiasm, I'm sure spilled out into everybody else. And so whether it's the Oscars or not, you're still going to, the important thing is the message, the story,
Yes.
the narrative, and also having a cast and crew that's, like you said, 98%. What was the, not coloured? Be careful with wording.
Of color.
People of color or coloured that were
Yeah.
part of that 98%. That in itself is a huge representation. So going out into the wider world, wider field, that's enough sometimes to say, here we are. This is what we're about, and being seen and being heard. And so we got the festivities coming up in a few weeks' time. We got a new year, and so there's a real energy. You can feel that sort of energy just driving everything forward. And Old Righteous Blues, we've just got to, I don't even think you need to give it good luck. There's an energy and a vibe that's driving it already.
I 100% believe that. There's just a different energy force that is just pushing it forward as much as we can. Like we said, we don't have all the funds that we wish we could have. We don't have all the backing we wish we had, to compete and really campaign the way all the other films are campaigning. And that's a large part of the Oscar run. It's campaigning, and getting the Academy voters to watch your film and vote for it. And that takes money, and we don't have all of that. We're doing what we can, just as we always did from the get-go. And we're going in it, we're pushing as hard as we can, and we hope that, it goes the long road and it gets to the places we want it. Yes, the long haul. There we go. But it's just like you said, there's a victory in it already. The fact that we were able to tell the story and bring it to life and have people really enjoy it the way that they have is really something. Yeah.
And time, it's already been 20 minutes and it just feels like we've just started having this conversation. But for you, being part of this, Maneera, do you feel that it's changed you in some way? It's inspired, influenced? What has it done for you personally, being part of this wonderful project?
I think with every project is different, and with every project you learn and you grow and you take something and you leave a bit of yourself with it. And there are just some of those projects that stands beyond the rest. You just connect to it in such a different way, and this is really that project for me. First of all, from a filmmaking perspective, it is a dream project for any director to have, to tell this type of story, which is so character driven and so universal in its themes. So that is a dream within itself. But then to also have that community aspect and all the sort of behind the scenes element and the people that we've worked with and the crew that we've worked with and cast, it just made it so extra special. They don't make films like this anymore, with this type of a heart, with, from its complete inception to the very end, it has so much heart and spirit in it. And that is what I really hope the audience take away from it, is they feel that connection to it.
And sort of winding down, what about those who worked on the film? Those you say in the village at the top of the mountain, because even that, the village at the top of the mountain, even that's symbolic, isn't it? The village at the top of the mountain. Come on now, it's just like.
Can you? It's such a special place in my heart, and that community, which, like I said, they became like family. When we were looking for locations, first of all, at the end of it, people were approaching us, come and film in our house, come and shoot in our house, we'll show you this, can I be in it? So it was that spirit. Everyone was just come in and so welcome, but that is never it's not always the case. You really have to build that trust with the community. And I think that is also what makes this so special, is that as a cast and crew, we really went into the community with that ethos of being a part of the community and really utilizing it and giving and as much as we can and incorporating the community as much as we can.
Brilliant. So as we wind down, Maneera, what else would you like to share with those watching this, and as you move forward?
Oh, I first, there's so many people that I just, if I had a list, the list would be endless of people that I'm so grateful for. I mean, our producers, like I said, Katarina Weinek and Dumi Gumbi, was just, they've done the most and still doing the most when it comes to the film. Carol Shaw, our writer. And then we have our cast and crew. When I'm telling you how much they've put of themselves into this film, you fall on your back. It's not an easy thing, And that community, I'm so grateful for that opportunity to shoot in that community. And like you say, shine a magnifying glass on a piece of the world that the larger globe has not seen before. So that is what I really want the audience to, is immerse themselves in this world, journey with our characters, and really feel, because that is what film is. It's you either seeing yourself in it, or you're relating it to it, or you're just journeying, or it's pure entertainment. But whatever it is, I hope that this film touches you in some way.
Brilliant. Well, fingers crossed, everything crossed. It's just the same, but just moving forward, I feel you're going to keep moving forward and keep climbing those mountains, with the narratives, with the message, and just wishing you all the best. And where can people follow the journey of Old Righteous Blues, Maneera?
Please follow at Old Righteous Blues Film on Instagram, on Facebook. We are very much active. There's behind the scenes, there's clips if you want to see what was going on. Even the kiddies running around, you'll see a bit of that, And if you, for South Africans, if you want to watch the film, it is still on DSTV box office. It's like renting it. All you need to do is pay 40 Rand. You don't need a subscription or anything. Watch it. Talk about it, tweet about it. Please, we need South Africans to back it and have that buzz, like they would sports. Sports is such a big thing in South Africa. Arts also needs to be backed in that same way.
Yeah, because it's telling your stories, and the stories are coming from the community. Well, Maneera, I just want to say thank you. I'm going to say thank you to Deborah Hayter. A big shout out to Deborah as well. Thank you for connecting us, and just wishing you all the best. And I'm going to make sure that I follow you on. I'm going to stalk you on all your channels, and just wishing you well. And we'll see. But the main thing is you've got here, and just keep moving. And I want to say thank you to the cast, the crew. Got to give props to everybody who were part of this incredible journey. So thank you. And to those who are listening and watching, thank you so much as well. And for me, this is a story of perseverance, resilience, just making the film against the odds. And sometimes we think if we don't have this, we don't have that, especially when it comes to money. But you know what? There's something called passion that can just drive you through, and you realize sometimes the gifts and the skills and the resourcefulness that you have to make something happen. So wishing you all the best, and also seeing you soon. Take care. It would be lovely to meet you one day. Bless you. All right. Bye.
So much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.